Today I'm going to be sharing with you all the supplies that you need to get started on the violin. So if you are a beginner violin player and you are looking for what you need to get started, this is the video for you. For this video, I'm just going to show you my own violin and all of the supplies that I use personally. Most of the links that I'm going to be providing you with are from Fiddler Shop, which is a great online shop for violin supplies and for violins. And what's also kind of neat is that it's actually a local shop to where I live. So if you happen to live in the South Florida area, this is a great shop that you could either order online from or you could go in person and visit as well. Some of these supplies you'll also be able to find on Amazon, so I'll link some Amazon links as well. So let's jump right into it. First of all, of course, you're going to need a violin. Here's my violin. This is a full-size violin, and usually this would fit students who are around 13 or 14 years old, just depending on how tall they are. I'll also put a link below that shows how to size your student and how to know what size is right for them. As an example, I'm also going to show you guys a smaller violin. So this violin is a quarter-size violin, and this would obviously be for younger students who are smaller. So there's a whole range of different violin sizes, ranging from like a 16th size. I've even seen, I think, a 32nd size, which was teeny tiny, super cute. But they range from being very small to full-size violins. So again, if you would like to know what the correct size is for you or for your student, go ahead down below and I'll link a sizing chart down below so that you can measure that and figure out what size is right. Now, in terms of violins, Fiddler Shop does have some really good beginner violin options, and they have options where you can either buy the violin itself or you can buy the whole violin outfit, which includes all of the supplies that you need to get started as a beginner on the violin. All right, on to the next. So next you're gonna need a bow. I can't even fit this on my screen, it's so big. This is the full-size bow. And then I'm also just gonna show you the quarter-size bow. This is the quarter-size bow. So the bow is what you need to draw across the strings to play your violin. And again, you could buy your bow as a separate item, or you could do the violin outfit and that would be included in that violin outfit. Next, you're going to need a shoulder rest. There's lots of different options for shoulder rests. I'm gonna show you what I personally use. I usually have my students start, if they're beginning, with a foam rest. So this is very simple and inexpensive. And then you secure it with a rubber band that attaches right here and it goes over, it crosses over. And also for beginner students, it's not too tall, and so it usually is a nice natural shoulder rest to begin with. So this would be the foam rest option. And then there are structured shoulder rest options. So these are a little bit bigger, and obviously they're a little bit more structured than the foam rest. The one that I use, and I've used this for like almost 20 years now, I love it. This is the Wolf Forte Primo shoulder rest. There are some people that prefer an even more shaped shoulder rest, and I'll link that also. So for me personally, this one, when I first was trying out different shoulder rests, this was the one that felt most comfortable and natural to me. And sometimes you might need to try a few different types of shoulder rests to find one that really works well for you. So the next supply that you're going to want is rosin, and they come in, different looking cases, and they're different brands, all that. But basically rosin is made out of tree sap, and it's hardened, and it becomes this little block that you rub onto the hairs of your bow, and it creates like a little powder that gives the bow some grip on the strings of your violin. So this is my rosin, and the way it's packaged is just inside of like this little cloth. A lot of rosins also come in like a little wooden holder, and so I'll link a couple of these below. All right, the next one is a cloth for wiping and cleaning your violin. You really need to have something that's very soft, that's not going to scratch your violin or cause any marks on it. But every time that you're done playing your violin, you'll want to wipe it down and get any residue from the rosin off the wood of your violin, and just clean off the strings from any of the grime from your fingers and things like that. So usually, like in a violin outfit, this will be included as well. The next thing that you're going to want for your violin is a tuner. A lot of tuners come with a metronome, which is also a great tool. So if you can get them together, that's kind of like a 2-for-1. Metronomes also give you the beat of music, so you can practice along with it. And then of course the tuner is what you'll tune your violin to make sure that all of your 4 strings are correctly in tune. All right, so next is the music stand. And you can see right here, my music stand behind me. This type of music stand I love because it's so sturdy. And let me just show you real quick. Can you see it? This is a nice music stand, I like it. I also have a portable music stand that folds up, and that's also nice if you're going to be playing in an orchestra or anything else where you need to constantly be moving your instrument and your music stand around all the time. Another option that's very good to know about is that almost every music store that sells violins will also do violin rentals. So if your student or you are considering the violin and you're not really sure if you're going to stick with it for very long, this might be a really good option for you. Or if your student is growing really quickly, so like if they're starting young and they're going to be growing quickly and moving through the different sizes of the violins, you may also want to consider a violin rental because it's a little bit less expensive than purchasing. In my area in South Florida, a lot of violin shops will rent the violin, which includes everything, so it'll be everything that I just talked about. The violin, the shoulder rest, bow, the case, everything. They usually will rent that for about $30 to $40 a month. So those are the main supplies that you need to get started on the violin. Now, when you look at this may seem a little bit overwhelming, but once you have these supplies in place, you really have everything you need to learn from beginner to advanced violin. I hope that this video was helpful for you. I tried to kind of give you a quick but comprehensive overview of what is needed to begin on the violin. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop down in the comments below your question and I will do my best to answer that. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you'll like this video and you can subscribe to this channel for more content coming on playing the violin and just music making in general.